Thank you so much for joining us as author and spirit guide Heidi McBratney speaks to one of the most common questions she gets. How can we tell if it is our busy mind that is speaking in our heads or the wisdom of our soul trying to come through?
Regardless of what we are doing or where we're going, the mind offers endless information, chatter, opinions, thoughts, gossip, and questions, all of which are closely tied with emotional responses. The chatter begins with our waking moments, goes on all day, and for some people, they even find it a challenge to become quiet enough to fall asleep at bedtime. Our mind can frequently feel quite demanding and persistent because it has a lot to say and share. As a result of this loudness and persistence, we can be easily swayed by our mind and follow its lead. The mind seems to speak in a language as if it is having a conversation or issuing orders and commands to us. When our mind is speaking, it uses language, words, and pronunciations that are very common to us, and it has a tendency to be grammatically correct, as though it were speaking in sentences. The words we hear will often be in the language that we are most comfortable with. So if we are bilingual or multilingual, we will hear the language that we are most accustomed to hearing. This style of speaking is important for us to notice because when we hear our own mind speak in this way, it is a cue to us that our mind is at work, which is to say our mind is doing the talking. Now, add to this that our mind is also closely connected with our emotions. It is not uncommon when we're thinking and perceiving something, we will be aware that our mind is very active in bringing about a full range of emotions. To help everyone understand this, I suggest that we simplify this for the purpose of our discussion and consider 4 basic emotions. All other emotions will fall under the range of one of these 4 anyway. The 4 emotions are happy, sad, scared, or angry. If we find that we are feeling any of these significant emotions at the same time that we are getting a message in our head, chances are that our mind is very actively engaged in trying to take over from our soul to give us directions. How to listen to the language of your soul. The soul, on the other hand, is very quiet and matter-of-fact, causing no significant emotions or triggers. When our soul speaks to us, we experience calmness and peacefulness. The soul's tendency is to be quiet and still. The language of the soul is conveyed more through symbols and movement and comes across in a calm, gentle, and flowing way. If it does use language, it is more poetic. Furthermore, the soul makes no demands and no judgments on the choices that we make, whether we end up following the guidance given to us by the soul or if we follow the demands of the mind. You will find that the soul is ever steadfast, always available to offer its wisdom in a patient, loving, and kind way. Unlike the mind, which tends to shout and be demanding, taking up a lot of energy and space, our soul is just the opposite. It waits for us to approach it for guidance and wisdom. Our soul is like a wise elder, waiting and knowing that their student will eventually appear, but not seeking the student out. This soul offers guidance and a knowing sometimes into territory that we have not experienced and that is unfamiliar to us. As a result, guidance from the soul can feel uncomfortable, but be assured that the soul presents only the highest and best path for us to follow, since its role is clearly to support us. The soul has a wisdom and a knowing that expands beyond time, space, and dimensions. Since the soul is timeless, it has access to awareness that is beyond time or yet to occur in creation. In other words, the soul can access the unknowable, which are places where the body and mind have no actual experience or access. In an earlier chapter, you'll remember that an example was given of a woman who was running for her life until suddenly something within her told her to be very still. It would be this internal message that saved her life. Her soul at that moment crossed the boundaries of knowingness and stepped into the future, guiding this dear woman to ways that would bring her to safety. The quiet stillness that her soul provided her with and represented a powerhouse of knowing what was otherwise unknowable. Neither her mind nor body could have known, but they clicked into gear quickly for her once the soul told her to freeze in place at that exact moment.
To read the full story and many other examples that clarify how you can begin to hear and follow the wisdom of your soul, please visit HeidiMcBratney.com or visit Amazon, where you can order her published book or audiobook, Answering the Call of Your Spirit. Enjoy the excitement as you begin to wake up and remember the light of your soul. Munai.